I prank called the police and my mom got arrested. When I was 6, my teacher, Mrs. Patel, made us all write apology letters for talking during quiet time. I sat at my little desk, gripping my pencil so tight my knuckles turned white, staring at the blank paper. This was totally unfair since Tommy was the one being loud, not me. I had only whispered, "Stop it," when he kept poking me with his eraser, but somehow I got lumped in with all the troublemakers. Mrs. Patel walked between our desks with her arms crossed, her flowery dress swishing. "I expect a full paragraph explaining why you disrupted our learning time," she announced in that stern voice that made my stomach twist. The injustice burned in my chest like a hot coal. That's when I decided to get revenge. During recess, while other kids ran around the playground, I snuck away from the monkey bars. My heart pounded as I tiptoed down the empty hallway. The school office door was propped open, and I could hear Mrs. Rodriguez talking about lunch menus. The black phone sat right there on her desk, practically calling to me. My hands shook as I picked up the receiver and dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? The voice sounded tired and official. Hi, I whispered, trying to sound older. My teacher, Mrs. Patel, is being really mean to kids and she's hurting us. Mrs. Patel at Riverside Elementary is hurting kids, I said louder, my voice cracking. She's really mean and somebody needs to stop her. I slammed the phone down and ran back outside, my face burning. For the rest of recess, I could barely concentrate on the swings, imagining police officers marching into our classroom to arrest Mrs. Patel. 20 minutes later, my fantasy came true. 2 police officers in dark blue uniforms appeared at our classroom door, their radios crackling. Mrs. Patel's face went completely white as they showed their badges and asked to speak with her privately. While Mrs. Patel stepped into the hallway, I felt like an absolute genius. Finally, someone would listen about how unfair she was. But when Mrs. Patel returned 10 minutes later, she didn't look defeated. She looked really upset. Not angry upset, but hurt upset. Her eyes were red and her voice shook as she addressed the class. "Children, someone called the police today and made a false report about our classroom. Making false reports to police officers is against the law." She looked around the room, her gaze lingering on each of us. My stomach dropped to my toes. The word law echoed in my head as I stared down at my desk. That night at dinner, Mom's phone rang. I watched her face change from curious to concerned. "Yes, I understand. Tomorrow morning, of course." She hung up and turned to me with that look, the one that meant big trouble. The school called. Someone made a prank call to 911 from the office phone during recess. They're calling all parents whose kids have been acting up lately. My mouth went dry. That's weird. I managed to croak. The next day, Mrs. Patel pulled me aside during art time. "I know it was you who made that call. Lying to police officers is a very serious crime." Panic shot through me. In my 6-year-old brain, only one solution made sense. If I was getting in trouble anyway, I might as well try to save myself. That afternoon, I waited until Mom was in the shower and called 911 again. "Hi, this is about yesterday. My mom was the one who made that fake call, not me. She told me to lie about it." 2 hours later, I watched in horror as police cars pulled up outside our house. 2 officers walked up carrying handcuffs, their faces serious. Mom answered the door in her bathrobe, hair still damp. "Can I help you?" "Ma'am, we have a warrant for your arrest for filing false police reports." The confusion on Mom's face was terrible to watch. There must be some mistake. Her voice got higher as they read her rights and guided her hands behind her back. I pressed my face against the window as they helped her into the police car, her eyes frantically searching for me through the glass. This wasn't supposed to happen. At the police station, everything fell apart instantly. The same officer from school took one look at me and his eyes lit up with recognition. "You're the kid from Mrs. Patel's class. You made both calls, didn't you?" The game was over. To teach me about consequences, they put me in a holding cell, just a small room with a bench. But to my 6-year-old mind, it felt like real prison. When they finally let me out, I confessed everything through huge, snotty tears. Mom got released immediately, but the lecture about honesty and consequences lasted much longer than any holding cell ever could.